So, so I've been looking at Carbondale, Illinois, where we frequently are. Hopefully this hasn't changed since okay, hopefully this isn't gonna. Anyways, I've been trying to figure out like what the assigned minutes is supposed to be for one of these cases where the examples are broken, and then I've noticed that if I send I didn't actually implement it, but if I send the correct duration of minutes through this through the calculation formula, then it does start to appropriately change it. So yeah, okay, so let's see. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me get that going. Okay. So, this is one of the stored procedures that goes into in the RMS calendar job, and so I believe this is for Carbondale, and one of the recurring problems was that if I tried to look at the changes that were associated with that area, they kept coming through as not valid. But if I manually set, so for example, I calculated that the current units that are scheduled is 585 in this area, and if that is set correctly, then it will become valid. And so I think yep. Yeah, I think that's right, yes. But so okay, so my current sense right now is that I need to find a way to get this 585 programmatically and plug it into this job, and that will, once it has the programmatic sum of existing scheduled jobs, that it would then start saying, oh, these changes are valid, and that would then start populating DPI correctly, and that would kind of like waterfall throughout DPI and RMS. Right. Then we don't need to do anything, you're right. Yeah, yeah. Right. So maybe let me try to walk through the UI and make sure I really understand what's going on here. So I was looking at this on the 19th. I'll refresh this just in case it's changed. Maybe it has changed, actually. Yeah, it looks like it's... Sure. Okay. Did I have a screenshot of that? So for the 19th, is this 1% as opposed to like 100%? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see what. Okay. Okay. So then. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, it might be good for me to try a different area so I can kind of compare these things. Oh, great. Okay. Wait, this one or oh, okay. Oh gosh. it's 12:07 there. Okay. For F. Okay. And then, and it should be, yeah, it should be available. Okay. Okay. So the remaining is 0 on both of these. Okay. So then, if I look at, okay. So if I look at the jobs that exist for this under F, then, come up here. Okay. Okay, so then if we're on the 23rd. Okay. Okay. So I'm comparing in this, okay, in this instance, are you saying that the scheduled is not correct? Or, okay. Okay. So this is the opposite case where it should be closed, but it's not closed. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So then, if I wanted to determine the correct availability, my understanding is I could come up here and look at the job count or the job details. So I guess it's not going to do that. Oh, thank you. Okay. Are you talking about these? Those are the two. Okay. Um. But I should exclude the G though, right? Or the LSAG. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Copper. Okay. Okay. So, but okay. So to your point, then the AM should be 165 plus 90. Mhm. Oh, good grief. Okay. Sorry, 735. Okay. I think you did. Yeah. All right. So then, okay. So that 255 and 735. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. When we go to the 23rd for F, then. Okay, then. Wait, this one should be 735? Is this the one that should be 735? And this one, or is it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, in theory, this should have been positive 45, and this should have been positive 585. Okay, but I mean, accounting for that DPI rounding. I mean, ballpark. That's what those should have been. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Can I try going through one more example to make sure I understand this? Um, um, you have any recommendations here? I guess we've looked at Carbondale and we looked at beach cities. Yeah, I think mine might be. Oh, dang it. Okay. Yeah. A little bit. Is it? This one? Oops, the Santa Maria. Okay. Oh man, why does it want me to do this again? I don't know what I'm doing, but it's been a while. That may be. Hmm. Uh, that. Santa Maria, maybe? Okay. Okay, so I can go to 17th for F, which is fiber, and then the 80% is higher than the 76%. So there should still be capacity. Okay, and so, well, yeah, right now it's saying there's nothing remaining. Okay. So then, somewhere behind the scenes, you just go to, or like wherever the root. I know there's some. You've given me that formula before, but ballpark. Um, wait, job count, right? Details. Then I go down to the fiber jobs. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot here, but okay. So then, okay, so the saying sort. Yeah. Okay, so it would be this 180 plus 165, and that's, what is that, 245? maybe? Or 3:45, thank you. Okay, and then 1:65 is the only PM, or that's thus far. Hmm. Okay. Alright, so I'll close this, and then going back to F, we would expect that the remaining would be. Wait, no, sorry. Okay, so there's scheduled, and then minus 165. Maybe there's like 40 units left, something around something 45, which may turn into like 40. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. Okay. So there should be 0 remaining. Okay. Okay. My bad. Okay. I'm subtracting the wrong one. Okay. Sure. Okay. 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 Um. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, like, will it break the other stuff if we fix this case? Okay. Okay. Zero or negative. Okay. I feel like this gives me enough information to start looking again. How do you feel about this, Lemuel? Yeah. I've got time if you guys do. Oh, do you want me to go run Santa Maria? Okay. Oops, what did I do? So coming to Friday. Yeah, I don't see. Let me see if I can. Minnesota, Southwest. Okay. Are you really? Okay, so should I go to the 23rd? Is that all the way in 11:30? So, okay. So so usually when we look at these calendars, we've been looking at the date that RMS gives and not the date that pops up in the tooltip. So I don't. Okay, and we have I, J, and K. But I need to go to next week. Okay. Wait, A is all? Okay, yeah, okay, so it just has to be higher than 21%, which those are for I, J, and K, and T for that matter too. We can see, okay, that's not a good example. J, ignore that. Of course. Now that we're looking for it. Oh, wait, this is okay. Is this a good example? Oh, is this already? This isn't broken. Okay. Okay, my bad. Okay. Okay. This S. You want me to go look at if this was correct, then I think in theory, yes, but yeah, in this case, isn't this like a this is like DPI's fault and kind of outside our domain. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. No, that is kind of a good. Ah, what do I have to do to get? Sorry, guys. I can do this real quick. Oh, and the job count theoretically should be 0. Should I go to that? Or should I wait for you to find one? North Northville? Oh, okay. Which date has the problem? Or am I looking at the wrong? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Do you know offhand this if max represents 100% or if it's like the largest of these two or okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Okay. So we're not dividing by 0. Okay.
If you go over to Saturday where there is no work, it shows max when there's no text.
Okay. Oh, sure. Okay. I see.
Like it won't say 0, right? Because again, it's just it's a UI thing to basically say, hey, you have no text that day. So with no text, it doesn't matter what it is, you're maxed out.
Right.
But yeah, so this has just happened to be another example, just a place where I could show you, whereas, hey, this is one of those places where, hey, it's an all rather than a copper or a fiber. And it also even shows a good example of what that looks like. Because if you looked at fiber, you'd go, well, your zeros and your percentages are all messy, right? What's going on? But it's because we're looking at the all column, so it adds the fiber and the copper together.
Okay.
For those calendars. But let me see if I can find, let's see, like I said, North Creek. I'm just trying to find another example for you guys. That's easy to look at. Let's see. Ugh. Fort Wayne showed up on this list. Oh no. Let's see. Angola, our northern neighbors. Anyway. See if Angola has a good version of this.
Is that?
It's Indiana, Fort Wayne, Angola, RC.
Thank you.
Central Indiana, Fort Wayne, sorry.
Oh, wait, no.
And it's yelling about the S calendar, which is what it shows. Yeah, you're in the right place. Angola. Oh, you clicked on Fort Wayne. Yeah. Sorry, I was saying Fort Wayne, the Lamb. I apologize.
You're talking about the 1122 or?
Yeah, the S calendar.
Okay.
RMS wants it to be 1122, but if you click on 1122,
okay, there's fiber. Okay, so it's going to say 5 remaining. Okay. So now I should look at what the actual appointments are.
yeah, there's only 2 jobs. Well, you're looking, when you click on that, yeah, it'll take you to the same place, I guess. The copper work.
Yeah, was it copper? I wasn't paying attention to which.
Well, this area is all copper, right? This is an area where it has no fiber. So this is like all copper area.
Okay. So it looks like these are both PM. I'm looking at that right.
Nope. 1 a.m., 12. Remember, it's 12 p.m. or less.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right.
1 a.m. job of 60 and 1 p.m. job of 165.
So there's 60
Trouble
a.m., 165 p.m. currently. Okay. So I that. I go back to the then there's only been 60 actually. There's only 60 that have actually been assigned, so then there should be about 60 remaining in the AM. And then only 165 have been taken up by the schedule, so like it's 480 minus 165. What's that? 300 some odd is what this
315.
should be, or wait, not the
Yeah.
total, but here.
315.
Okay, so there should be somewhere around 300 over there instead of the 20. Okay.
Correct. Yep, and that's because there's been some extra work that came out of the assigned and out of the AM, basically out of the AM and the PM. And I don't try to get into it too much, but that's why we want to search on the JEP date and not the commit date, because the commit can be one thing and the JEP can be something else, and the JEP is what the company has decided we are what we're capacity planning to.
Okay.
When the job starts, they're the same, but they can once the job's out in the wild, the commit can remain the same and the JEP can change around. So anyway, that's why, like, for example, you may ask yourself, well, I only show 60 units, but I show 115 assigned. Where are the other 55? And not trying to get too crazy.
So, Jeff, so in this case, let's say 120 and assigned is 115. That, at least by seeing that table, right, I can understand. But now, once we fix it, this table is going to be like 120 in the scheduled, and assigned will be 115, and remaining is going to be 60, right?
No, the scheduled will be
scheduled will be 60,
200 or whatever. The scheduled will be okay. So we.
The max. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to max. Okay.
Yeah, the scheduled.
What is the max on it here? Can you go to that setting, please?
Are you talking?
Yeah, it'll be one. Yep, it'll be 120.
Somewhere around here?
Or 115, I should say.
I think you need to click on yes, I think, right? Yes, calendar.
You hit close and then you go click on the calendar link that's to the left.
Oh.
Roll over.
Oops.
Then you click on that calendar link.
Wait, this
right
one?
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
you'll see
what is the S here? S is 115.
Yep.
Okay.
But you can't put 115 units into DPI if 120 is the closest match.
Okay, now maybe minimize this. So if you see the ES calendar, that is 115 max. Now open the cut. Yeah, open that 65%. Not that.
Oh, oops.
65. Cancel it. 65%. So this one should be 115, right?
Well, we can't.
Or whatever, 115 or 120, but it cannot be 200, right? How come it will be 200?
Well, I was round. I was trying to 200. It could be, but I was saying that we would want, to your point, when we would fix this, we would want another job to be available in the AM. So to do that, right, we would need to have, we would want at least 115 units. We can only, there's already 5 in there, so you want to think of it this way. I want to add 110, but I can't add 110. I can only add 100, I can either add, I can only add 120, really. The next multiple is not enough. So, if we add 90 plus 5, we'd only have 95, which is not enough. So 100, we'd have to add 120. So the scheduled would show 240. we'd change the calculation. We would add some more units. So we'd put in a schedule of 240, which would make the remaining,
60.
well, no, it'd be 240. Let's see, 240 minus the assigned, 115 plus 5. So it'd be, you'd show remaining of 130. Because you'd have, when you put in the 240, it would, well, no, I apologize. You are correct. It would be 125. Because it scheduled would be 240 minus the assigned, which is 115. So remaining would be 125. Scheduled is all we're changing. RMS only manipulates schedule. The remaining and the assigned are just functions of other stuff. Remaining is simply scheduled minus assigned. 120 minus 115 gives you 5. 480 minus 460 gives you 20. The totals are just the total of that row.
Oh, you are saying scheduled will become 240?
Yes.
Can you please explain, Elna, you understand how the schedule will become 240? Or maybe we can ask to explain.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand how that the schedule will become 240 here.
Well, it would. Okay, so again, without getting into all the columns and the math, whatever, we're saying is, okay, hey, I have calculated that there should be 120 units in the AM and 480 units in the PM. But when I do this math, because we're under, the threshold is at 65%. The threshold is greater than the work, which means we have capacity on the table. I've only got 29% in this particular area, even though the remaining is basically all empty, right? There's nothing more to put in. And so when we look at this, right, we want, okay, well, I still want there to be, to your point, you looked at the current work, right? The current work, I have 60 units in the AM, I want 120, which means I need work for one more job. And then the PM, current work, 165 units, one job, but I want 480, which means I have 315 units available. 315 doesn't divide by 30, so the easiest that I'm going to be able to do is 330 units. So I'm sorry, I apologize, and I realize I'm kind of jumping all over the place, or at least a little bit. So I want approximately 330 units in the PM remaining, and 120 units in the AM remaining. And the reason for that is, so when we do the math, right? When we do the math, right? I say 60 versus 120 is remainder of 60. When I do 480 minus the current work, 165, I get 315. I can't, because 60 is less than the minimum units, that rounds up to the minimum units is 115. We can't put in 115 DPI in this configuration, so it becomes 120. So that's where we get what we want the remainder to be, 120 on the AM. Are we with me so far?
So, in order to do that, we can, like you're saying before, we do not directly control remaining. The thing we can manipulate is scheduled.
Correct.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, regardless, but so far, and logically, like, we're with me with the 120 and the remaining, like, where I got that number. It's okay. So I've calculated. I want 120 units. The actual work is 60, which means that there's 60 units left on the table, but 60 is still the minimum units I've said is 115, and then of course it has to round up to 120 to get into DPI. So that's what we want to put. That's what we want the remainder to be. And then the same sort of exercise for the PM is okay. So we've calculated 480 units. There's 165 actual, which leaves on the table 315. Now 315 is greater than the min. You don't have to worry about the min. In this case, the 120, 315 is greater than that, so I don't have to worry about it. But I do have to worry about what can I put into DPI. 315 does not go into DPI in the current configuration. So the closest is 330. Now RMS figures all that out already. We don't I'm just walking through that, but RMS knows all that. And so 330 is what we want to see in the PM for remaining. Now to get those numbers, right, to get 120 in the remaining, we'd say, okay, well I want 120 minus what's already there, 5. Again, we have to round up. So to get to that number, to get to there be at least 120, the scheduled would have to be 240.
Okay. So let's say scheduled 120 right now, okay, which is wrong, right? And we need to fix that. So how do we get to that 240? Can we actually add the math? Maybe can you show us how that it's going to be 240 on the formula, something like that on the paper? I'm sorry, on the notepad. Because the scheduled PM, you're saying it should be like 330, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but still I'm trying to still I am not getting how. Maybe 330 I got it, I think, because of the max, but the scheduled AM, how it will be 240 here. Can we look at the numbers and see exactly how it will be 240?
Sure, I'm trying to do that. If it helps for me, I can share my screen.
Where did you get the? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll kill off my screen. Where did you find the min for this one?
If you click
on the
close.
Dang it.
Which
I can show you on my screen, but
okay, maybe
it's on the calendar. The calendar settings.
Okay.
It's that blue link, right? You can see it on the screen. You can click on it.
That sounds familiar. Okay, so in theory, we would be back at. Okay. So it's something that I can go find. Okay, sorry, because I'm I'm used to thinking of it
and to
as
the point,
40.
RMS already calculates that all. It's already all in the table. Might be the right way to say that. Like even in that calculate dies out setting, one of the columns is the rounding factor. I might say it, and it's how the an RMS uses that to do the math. So let me share here. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah.
So where's my little notepad? I had it in another monitor there. There we go. Right. So I want to show this just so we can see. Some of this, don't worry. This is what we were talking about earlier. Trying to keep it straight. Let's get rid of that so we don't confuse ourselves. So right now, right, with the way the calendar is set up for S.
Right.
With this AM and PM, we've calculated 36 and 476, which rounds up to be 120 and 480. That's scheduled. That's this number right here, 120 and 480.
Wait a minute. Sorry. Yeah. So 60.
We haven't even gotten to the 60 yet.
No. I mean, how do? No. Yeah. Let's discuss on 240. How we get the 240. I don't want to look at this 120. I want to see how we get the 240 there.
Yep, I understand, and that's I'm trying to start at the beginning.
Yeah. Sorry, because if I think about 120 again, the 240 will be confusing for me. So I want to see at only 240. So.
Well, we need the 120 to get to the 240.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay, yeah. Then let's see how we got 120 there.
okay. Well, yeah. So these numbers, if you pretend they don't exist for a minute, right? We've calculated based on the threshold of 65% and the work units, blah blah blah. We get 512. We break that up. 7%, 93% into this 36 and 476. 36 a.m., 476 p.m. Now, I'm going to do that. So now, because of the min values, 36 is obviously way less than 120. We round up to 115, which is the min, which becomes, because of DPI, 120. And the 476 is
wait. Here, so let's say RMS send value 115 to schedule database, and DPI changes it into 120.
No, RMS does.
Oh, then RMS, how will it change it to 120?
Well, if you want, in the actual calculation, I can show you exactly where that happens. That one I know. It goes.
No, what I am trying to see here is, so which value it will try.
See, what happens is it goes, the number, it does this math here, and it goes, well, it's less than what this. No, this is actually, here it is. I apologize. This units per job, and it goes, well, that's less than 4 times this number, which is really the minimum amount you can put into DPI.
Okay.
And that's how it figures it out. But RMS, first, basically, the min units is 115.
Okay.
And then RMS goes, I really can't, it calculates that, that's less than the minimum appointment slot, which is 4 times, because of how the hours break up, right? There's 8, 9, 10, and 11, 4 hours at 30 units apiece, which is the minimum amount I can increment by inside DPI. So 4 times that number, 30, is 120, which is why that I have to use, if you've calculated a number that's less than this minimum increment, I have to do at least the minimum increment.
Okay.
And so but that's already in there. That would be, for lack of a word, downstream from our calculation.
Okay.
That's where it gets the 120. And then 476 is the PM, and that is obviously greater than the min, and the nearest 30 increment of 476 is 480.
Okay. So if it is less than min, then we will mark it as 115, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please continue. Okay. So now we got 120 and 480. Okay.
Yep. So that's what we want to have available. Great. However, so this is what we put in the calendar. Now I've calculated the grade, but when I look over here, I can see that we're at, I'm going to just make it less gray here. We're at 65%. So we should have capability. We should have capacity. It should be open because 65 is greater than 29.
can you open that again, please? Yeah, open that 65%.
Sure.
So that is what, like, okay.
65 is how we got the 512. If you take
Right.
if you take 788
Okay.
times
Yeah.
the
That's
0.65,
even
you
more.
get 512 units, which is where that comes from, and then it breaks it into this. Then
Right.
it takes, that's where those units come from.
Okay.
And that's where it gets those units, but the
If we add these two,
so
okay.
the what do I want to say, this is what we've done. However, the remainder is less, and the reason, so I'm going, okay, so just from a logical, or I mean, well, I shouldn't say logical, but from a high level view, the threshold is 65%. I'm only at 29% for the day, so I should have another
36,
36%.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't. The remainders are very low.
Oh, okay.
The
Because
so
of the
yeah.
okay.
So now the work, the actual work, right? Actual work. We have 60 a.m. one job, and then 165 p.m.
PM, right.
Okay. So what we would expect for expected remaining, would be 60 p.m., which I apologize, 60 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Which for the Lord, which rounds up to 120 because of the min. Well, rounds to 115 because of the min, and then because of DPI, 120.
Okay.
And then we would expect there to be, and that's because that 60 is 120 minus the 60, right? I just want to make that, explicit. The 120 from what we calculated minus the actual work. So this is the calc. This is the work AM.
Okay.
And then same exercise for the PM, right? 480 is the calc.
480 minus 165 is 315.
Yeah,
okay.
Is equal to 315, which has no min,
Okay.
but because it's over the min, I should say, so it becomes, and just so that we don't, let's see, minus 165 work PM equal that, and just so that we kind of line up some of this, becomes 330. That would be our expected remaining.
Okay.
But we don't have that. We have 5 and 20 actual.
Right. Okay. But we said like
and 20 p.m. And so in order to get the remaining to be, in other words, to get the remaining closer to the 120, right? I want to basically add 115 units, if you want to think of it that way. Again, I can't actually add 115 units into DPI. I can only add in increments of 120 for this calendar. So we've already put in 120. I need to put in another 120, which would mean that then the what I want to call it, new scheduled, just say it this way, would be 240. And the reason I do that is so, I want there to be 120. There's only 5 remaining, right? So I do, in this case, 5, right?
How do you got that 120 here? New schedule.
This number, the expected remaining.
Okay.
So we want there to be.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. We want there to be 120.
Okay.
So maybe 120 minus actual remaining.
Minus actual remaining. Okay.
And again, I don't know that we
Fine.
calculate it this way in the database, right? But I'm just trying to talk you through it. And that gives you 115, and we've already been over. I can't put in 115 units, so I have to put in 120.
Right.
And we've already put in 120, so we need to put in an additional 120.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I want to say?
240
plus the this is So that's where we calculate new scheduled 120 plus actual sched of 120. I should do it just to keep my own little. I'm running out of room here. Equals 240. Make this window just bigger. There we go. And so a very similar exercise would need to happen for
the PM.
For the PM, 330 is what we expect. I'm gonna do
minus
just to get rid of some extra here.
310.
Yep. And then we minus 20, we get 310. And 310. Whoops. I just want to double check myself.
We cannot have 310, so we go with 330.
30. Yep. And so we'd it would become 330 because of the DPI rounding.
Right.
And then we'd add that to the 480, which is actual sched, and we'd get what is not 4,000? Wow.
I think
810.
This one is only 330, right? Not 120. Not 480.
Well, no, because there's already 480 scheduled. This is the actual schedule. Is 480.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So I'd have to input 810 units into the schedule so that the remainder comes out as that. And then, if you want to look at that math, the other side of that is say we did that. Okay, so now I put in 810 units, right? Well, 810 minus the 460 that's assigned, right, is 350 remaining.
Okay.
And we need at least 330, and this is where one of those, like, we need at least 330, so because 330, 360, we can only do multiples. So otherwise we'd be at 320, right? We're kind of in this weird state, but so 350 is where we're sitting, and that gives us our 330 at least for one order, and that's would be the remainder would be that 350. That help? It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't do scheduling every day, and you really haven't had to worry about it. And I apologize.
Yeah, I mean,
see,
the thing what I'm trying to understand here is how do we implement it? I mean, we need to write the code, right? It is not that I cannot assume anything like this, and I need exact column or exact data point from where I take it and apply it here in the formula. So that I am not getting still. So I don't have those data points from where I take it and use it as a formula. So even now I'm not having a standard formula here.
So the first thing that we don't have is the AM and the PM work. In other words, right now in the calculate days out setting, right? This table doesn't. It has the calculated AM and PM columns, but it does not have the actuals. It has the total, the job units.
Yeah, I mean, we can write a program and we can write a function where we can get those, AMs and PM numbers.
Sure.
That function I think we can write. That is fine. We can get that numbers, or we can use a function where we are already showing it in the settings page. sorry, not in the settings page, in the other page where we are seeing those, right? We can call that function and get those numbers, AM and PM.
Mm-hmm.
That we can get, but after getting the AM and PM numbers, right? So to get the new scheduled numbers, I'm not getting any, formula here.
Well, I guess, if actual remaining is less than expected remaining, and this is what I'm saying. I hadn't had a chance to vet this out for every possible. Like I said, I hadn't had a time to do that.
Sure.
And but
okay, the actual
if actual remaining is less than the expected remaining, then we'd want to do then.
So our concentration here is to get the new schedule. I mean the schedule correct numbers. So
yeah, if actual remaining is less than the expected remaining, because if actual is greater than expected or equal, or in other words, if it works out that hey, we just haven't reached this threshold, then I don't care. Everything's working. Now if it's less than the expected, then I need to do this. I need to then expected remaining minus actual remaining.
So that will give us what is the remaining, actual remaining.
Oops. Yeah, and I'm just going to say equals y, whatever that number is, and then round. I'm just going to say y round, like so, whatever that is, and then. Well, actually, we don't want to round it there. I want to back that up. We don't want to round it quite then. We'd want to say, okay, so that's whatever that number is, and then
maybe we'll take one step back. Like if actual remaining is calculated from the AM and PM counts, right?
Yep.
Actual remaining, and the expected is from the the remaining one. Okay.
No, the actual remaining is from the work counts. The expected is from the calculation. Yes. Sorry, I thought you said it backwards.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah. So now we do that minus, and then we get y. Okay. Right.
And then, oh, sorry.
So in our case, let's say actual remaining for AM is 60, and expected remaining is actually 120. Okay, so which is less than, and then we are doing this expected remaining minus actual remaining is y, which is 60 now. Is that correct?
Oh, well, then, yeah, I mean, then we get, this, and then we'd want to do, y plus actual remaining equals z. Like we run into this, y plus actual remaining gives us a number, because, and then, let's see, z, right? And then we would, just trying to think this through, sorry.
Yeah, take time, because this formula will help a lot.
Then once we have that number, right? Because it would have to be. I'm just trying to. This is where we have to deal with. What if actual is negative?
Yeah, I mean those corner cases I know we can handle. I mean maybe in the different meeting, but
Yeah, I'm
just
this.
yeah.
Well, this is the formula that I had kind of lined out, and then I just hadn't.
Finish it.
Where did I put that? Because I said that somewhere, and I've given it to you. Where did I write that down? Let's see. Here it is. Then x am minus. Let's see, equals x. Then x am minus expected minus the work units. Yep. And then okay, so if y is less than or 0,
Okay.
no change.
Okay.
Else.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, get the else into next line. So that's just
yeah. Well, I'm just
yeah. So that's easy. Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay. So
because
now,
that means because if we're over, if we have
yeah, we don't need that. What if the actual? Then now take out that. What if the actual?
No, because we still need to worry about it because it would be.
Oh, you're talking about z there. Okay. Or maybe no change if that is negative.
No, we need to deal with the negative case. But again, this is the details that I hadn't.
Yeah, maybe we'll look into that when we actually put the numbers there. So.
And then okay, so we would need to make it to your point. We need to figure out, because so I'm taking this one here. The actual remaining 5 is less than the expected remaining, which is 120. I would take 120 minus the 5. I'd get 115. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. I think this should have been else up here. Like I need to. I'm sorry. This is what I'm saying. I don't have a formula, right? Because I didn't know how the data looked. I didn't even know how, what I'm saying, like how it would, what would need to be done. But let's see, we would need. Then we would
Actually,
would add.
Elna?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. I am interrupting. I mean, actually, it's almost like 6:15 to me. I need to actually step out for one party for housewarming. Somebody invited one of my friends. So yeah, I think I need to go. Maybe Elnar, can you take this forward, and maybe I will join with you in the morning.
Okay, sure.
And see. Maybe you both continue.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Jeff, is that okay? So maybe I'll.
No, I think I'm just real quick, in this case that we just did, the expected remain minus the 120 minus dash remain is 5, which is 115. The calculated remaining is 5 plus the 115. We would want to, with this case was 120, which is, we just want to make sure we'd want to round that value, right?
I think that will be z. I think z dot round.
Yeah, I should have. Sorry,
Yeah. Okay.
And then we'd want to add, and then set remaining am equal to z dot round plus calculated remaining.
Okay.
And then that, in this case, okay, so we've done, the math, and then that's, z dot round in this case would be 120 plus the calculated remaining, or the calculated expected. I should make make sure I expected, which in this case is 120. That gives me the 240, and that's what we'd set it to.
Oh, that is for remaining AM. Okay.
Yeah.
And same way for PM too.
Yeah, I'd want to, like, if you need a starting point, I completely understand. Like, this would be a good starting point. I would want to, I haven't done the analysis, like, would this work in every situation? Do I need to only use it in certain situations? What about if what happens when RMS is,
Right. Okay.
what happens if RMS is negative? Because we do need to take care of that, because then I need to just make sure that this works, right? I would think it would. Yeah. Anyway, so just.
Yeah, definitely it is. To get to this starting point, actually, we need to definitely get those AM and PM counts. I think we start there. Okay, and maybe you do this analysis and provide us the, this formula we can start with, but maybe if you think, maybe we need to tweak it, I think we can do those later.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So Eleanor, to that point, I think, can you go to the AM and PM count page, Jeff, on the UI?
Oh, in the UI, you're talking here in the jobs, like in the.
We go on details, right?
Yep.
So here these counts, right? Eleanor, maybe can you see which stored procedure or function we are getting this?
Sure.
This table loaded. Probably we can reuse that.
Yeah.
And we can get those JC date related, that projected duration minutes, and count them.
Yeah.
AM ones and PM ones, and then we will have the final. We follow that the formula what we have, and maybe if we have to tweak it, we can change it later, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the direction I was figuring we would be heading in, is figure out where this comes from, and then use that as some kind of check if there's a negative or zero value, like we were talking about before.
So but at least based on the discussion of the formula, right, I don't think we need to change inside the function. I think once we use that function, whatever we saw, right, I think once we get that value, I think we can apply our changes. The procedure which is calling in the job, maybe that's where I am thinking, at least, is a good place to change.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you. I thought you'd want to add. Again, I thought you'd want to add it in there, but regardless of where it happens, right? It just needs to happen somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe see, Eleanor, if you have time, look at this page and see that.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I will look into this place too.
Yeah,
so, but now I want to disconnect.
Okay, I'll look into where this is coming from, and
because my family, they are waiting from almost like 45 minutes. I've been saying like wait. Sorry.
All right. Gotta go. It's getting late. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Actually, it's this formula really helps. Yeah.
I was say, did you get a screenshot of it, or do I need to send it?
Yeah.
Or?
I have a screenshot, but if you want to take just paste that in, that would be fantastic. And I don't have to if I need something, I don't have to type it in.
I'll just like I said, I'll just type this kind of drop this whole little bit in there.
Yeah, and you don't need to worry about formatting it. We can kind of parse it out from there. Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you, both of you. I'll see where we are tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Lemuel's family. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Did you have any other questions before Eleanor?
I do not right now.
Okay.
Now, this answers the questions I had. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just say that I really do. I'm not trying to tell you anything. I I think that in the end we'll find that it's probably better to put it into this function, the auto,
The
and I could be
calculate
wrong,
thing.
because we're already calculating. This function already does lots of various things, right? Like
Right.
I mean, I would expect there, like, rather than just have job units JC, but have a job units AM JC, job units PM JC, and just calculate that, just what I want to say. I don't say the same way this function already does it, but
it's got to be. Yeah, that's kind of where I've been looking, is thinking it's got to be either this function or the sprock that calls it, somewhere around there.
good Lord, I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from, but it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the data up, but
Yeah, no, I mean I think it's doing a join with some changes table that joins a whole bunch of other tables, but yeah, it's just got to be a function of it has to be in here, the containing sprock. I'm pretty sure at this point. So
yeah, sorry, I was just trying to I'm like, I see this insert, and I'm like, there's got to be a from somewhere. Yeah, like right here. That's kind of where it.
yeah, it's a bear of a.
Oh yeah, well no, that doesn't. Now that I'm thinking about it, that makes 100% sense. Is that so? The job units isn't calculated normally. It's just not here anyway, right? It's just a thing. Like it's just a data point. Because previously there has been no AM or PM. Now to your point, like, does that mean that we put a thing in here, a column, and then in this join, is it all of a sudden now is it in the cal dates? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna leave that to you. Like that's in other words, do we calculate it from base, or do we just have a thing, case when blah 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 blah,
and do these extra calculations.
or like this, like not a case, but like this thing, select blah from whatever. How what I'm saying? Like, do we do this partition every time, or however? I'll leave that up to you guys. But I mean, again, I'm not trying to say. I'm just surprised because I would think that would be where, to me, it makes the most sense to put that data point.
Sure.
But on the other hand, maybe it's like, okay, so this is what we expect. To Lemuel's point, like, I'm not trying to change anything that we're quote unquote expecting, right? We're just trying to change what gets put in. So maybe it comes out this way, right? Like select, it spits out, in where's that table? Blah 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 right here. Insert into temp changes, and then we just build an update, right? That says where blah blah blah, etc. Whatever, update. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yep, and then yep, this is gonna call that function, and then yep, it's got to be around here somewhere. So.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean that to Lemuel's point, maybe that's what he was saying. Is like we're not really trying because we still need all those expected values. So maybe we just leave them alone and then change it out here, right? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is for that. I will work on trying to more thoroughly vet. I was not trying to. Sorry, what it says. I did not think I would have to do as much.
I understand. I was hoping I could
have it ready up front for
yeah.
Like when like Kieran was saying, well, what about ACs and stuff? I'm like, does anyone not realize I am not a business owner? Not really. I mean, kind of, but like I have like testing. That's what I normally do.
Yeah. And I apologize that I couldn't, like, I had really hoped by now that I would have this